Welcome back to the Anfield Exchange and welcome to the first official match preview of the new upcoming season. And it's a Community Shield final. Liverpool take on Crystal Palace. I know a lot of people view this fixture as a little bit of a glorified friendly. For me, it's more than that. I always like to get the season off to a good start with a trophy in the bag. I think from Arne Slot's press conference as well, it sounds to me like he's going to be putting a strong team out. He's going to be wanting to go and lift this trophy as well. I just think it sets the mood for the season quite well. In terms of the pre-season that Liverpool have had so far, I think it's slowly improved game by game. I think the Bilbao game, the second one with the first team, was probably the best performance we've had in pre-season so far. I thought there were some players that stood out in that game as well. In terms of Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, Jeremie Frimpong, Milos, Kerkez, big money being spent by Liverpool this season. I think Kerkez looks like he's come in and he's just made that place his own. He's been brilliant in pre-season any time he's had on the pitch. Florian Wirtz has had a little bit of a slow pre-season. I think he's got better. Again, I think it was his best performance against Bilbao. And Hugo Ekitike, obviously, he's new to the squad, but because of circumstances, he's going to probably be the main focal point for this game. In terms of how we've performed in pre-season, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, really. We've attacked quite well. I think going forward, we look dynamic. There's plenty of fluidity there. There's plenty of movement there. I think having Florian Wirtz dropping into those pockets helps with that. And I think obviously the way we're playing with the right back playing further forward, in the Bilbao game it was Frimpong, and I was sat there and I was in that first half where I'm sat in the cop and I'm sat right behind Frimpong, and a lot of the time he's playing as a striker, where Mo Salah would normally play, and that helps Salah come inside. I think there's probably been a conversation between Arne Slot and Mo Salah about getting him closer to goal, getting him closer to Florian Wirtz and the strikers, and it looks like that's something that Liverpool are trying to get going in the upcoming season. Defensively, though, we've looked a little bit weak, and Van Dijk's not had much of a pre-season, and we've brought in new defenders. Alisson's been missing. We're probably a little bit shy on the centre-back department as well. So I don't think any of these things have helped. But I think we'll look more solid at the weekend when we get our first team centre-backs and our first team defence out there as well. In terms of Crystal Palace, I'm not too sure how the pre-season's looked. I don't think it's been as impressive as what we would have hoped. But I think the main thing for Crystal Palace is they seem to have kept their star players. Mateta's still there. Eze's still there despite interest from Arsenal. Adam Wharton's still there as well. So they've got a good team. Mark Guehi as well. They have got a good team. They've got some good players. And they do give us a tough challenge to Crystal Palace. It's never an easy fixture when we play Palace. What I will say as well is this could go either way in terms of from a Crystal Palace point of view. I think it was only a couple of months ago where Crystal Palace was at Wembley in the cup final playing against Man City and they won that game. So I think confidence will be high from that point of view, and they'll be looking to do a job on Liverpool as well. But also I think there's also the point of view that they don't know what they're doing about Europe this year. I believe they're going through the courts to try and make a case for them being in the Europa League. At the minute, they're in the Conference League, so there's always a possibility that they might have one eye on that. I don't think it will have a massive impact, even if they do. I think Oliver Glasner's a good manager. He's shown that so far at Crystal Palace, and I think he'll be saying to the guys in the dressing room, look, we can't control the European where we're going to be playing next year, but this game in front of us, we can control that, and you have to put the European exploits into the back of your mind and just concentrate on what's in front of you. So yeah, I do think it'll be a tough game for Liverpool, to be honest. talking about tactics and what we've learnt from Liverpool in pre-season, I think one thing that is clear is that Dominic Szoboszlai will probably be playing a deeper role this season. We've seen him playing in the McAllister role while McAllister's been recovering from an injury. We've seen him filling at right back as well, and he's done very well there as well. So, yeah, I think it's clear that Dominic Szoboszlai's role this season will be deeper than what he normally plays or what he played last season. And like I touched upon the Frimpong thing there, I think Arne Slot's looking to get his wing backs high up the pitch, and just to try and push everybody up the pitch further to keep the press and keep the pressure on the opponent's team in their own half. And we'll see that, like I say, Frimpong will be playing higher up. Salah will come in more central, probably to try and get him more involved in the game. I think we saw towards the end of the last season when Salah's out wide, he has lost a yard of pace. He's turned more into a playmaker now, and he does struggle to beat his man for pace and take his man on. I'm not saying he hasn't got the ability to do that, because he has, but he has lost a yard of pace, which doesn't help. So I think it does make sense setting your team up to try and bring Salah into a more central area. So I think, like I say, we'll see a lot of that. And we've seen a good connection as well from Wirtz and Salah in those positions so far in pre-season. I think the more these guys play with each other, the stronger that connection's going to get. Ekitike as well, I think he tends to I'm not going to say he drips. I'm not going to say he goes to the left and he plays on the left, because I don't think that's accurate. But he naturally does drift more to the left than he does to the right or centrally. So I think when you've got Ekitike that drifts to that left, you're creating space in the right, on the right wing position for Frimpong to get forward. And when you throw the likes of Salah and Florian Wirtz in there as well, you've got effectively a front four, a front five, even with Cody Gakpo. So yeah, that'll be interesting to watch how that all works together, because we are looking very attacking in these pre-season games so far, but I think that's detrimental to us defensively. So we'll see how far forward Arne Slot's trying to get these guys pushing up, because I think he might be a little bit more reserved in these games now that means something. And if he carries on the way that we've been playing in pre-season, it does leave us susceptible to the counter-attack, something Crystal Palace have been very, very good at last year. I think we've got one of the best right-backs in the league at the minute in Daniel Milos. I think he's brilliant. He's dangerous. And I think Kerkez might have his work cut out against Munoz in this game. But yeah, I think if we can get on the ball and dominate possession and keep possession, more importantly, and be patient, wait for our openings, I think we'll be all right. And I would imagine we'll lift the trophy at the end of it. In terms of players that are not going to be available, we know that Conor Bradley is touch and go. We don't think he's going to be available for this game. Joe Gomez is out with a minor injury. Arne Slot confirmed that in the press conference. So, yeah, those guys are out. I think McAllister's an interesting one because he's not had much of a pre-season. He missed the last few weeks of last season as well. So he's been recovering from an injury. It'll be interesting to see if McAllister starts in this game. The reason I say that is Szoboszlai has been brilliant in pre-season. For me, he's probably been our best player, I would say, Dominic Szoboszlai. Gravenberch is suspended for the game against Bournemouth. So there's a couple of variants that he can make in this midfield role. He might go out there and give Gravenberch 90 minutes knowing that he's not going to be playing next weekend against Bournemouth. Or what he might do is he might have the idea in his head that he's going to play McAllister and Szoboszlai against Bournemouth because of that suspension. So he might want to give McAllister and Szoboszlai 60 minutes together just to see how that dynamic works, and then give McAllister a rest and bring somebody else on, possibly Curtis Jones, who could play deeper. But yeah, again, we'll have to wait and see on what Arne Slot thinks is the right thing to do and how seriously he's taking this game. Alisson should be back, which is good news. Virgil van Dijk is back. I think there might be potential for Mohamedashvili to start this game, and the only reason I say that is because he has played the most pre-season in goals, the most of pre-season, and Alisson has missed a little bit of it as well. So maybe in Arne Slot's head, right, let's give Mamardashvili this opportunity to go out there, put on a performance, lift the trophy potentially, and we know when it comes to the nitty-gritty, when we're back in the Premier League, Alisson will be starting all of those games when he's fit. So I think potentially we might see Mamardashvili in there. Again, another one we're going to have to wait and see on. Two players that I would like to see, not necessarily start the game, but I would like to see them come on and make an impact. Of the two youngsters, Rio Ngamoa and Trey Nyoni. I think both of them have had a brilliant pre-season. Rio Ngamoa is getting over credit, rightly so. He looks like an absolute superstar in the making. But Trey Nyoni's been brilliant as well in that midfield role. He's good on the ball. He's good at passing, and he's good at carrying the ball forward as well. I think he could be another one that really does cement his place in the Liverpool's first team squad in the upcoming season and the years to come as well. So I'm going to go through my predicted 11, who I think will start this game. I know I've already spoke about most of them, but this is who I think will start this game. And I'm torn between the keepers. If Arne Slot's going strong, I think it's going to be Alisson. If he's looking to build on what he started in pre-season, then I think it'll be Mamardashvili. But for the sake of it, Alisson hasn't been out with an injury. He was away with personal issues. So it's not like Alisson's unfit. So I think in this game, Alisson will start. I think he's going to go Frimpong, Konate, Van Dijk and Kerkez at the back. I think he's going to start with... Who do I think he's going to start with in midfield? I actually think he will start with Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. I think McAllister will start on the bench and maybe get 30 minutes, 45 minutes potentially. But then, yeah, I'm going to go with that. Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. Maybe McAllister and Gravenberch will do 45 minutes each. And then I think the front line sort of speaks for itself. You've got Florian Wirtz in front of those two. You're going to have Salah on the right, Gakpo on the left, and Hugo Ekitike as the sole striker. In terms of a score prediction, I'm torn a little bit because I think these games are normally very close. And I think when you're in a cup final, and Crystal Palace will be taking this seriously, they can start off quite cagey affairs, and they can be a little bit nervy. And I think that when that happens, you don't see many opportunities. A lot of players play it safe, try to keep possession. So on that hand, I think it could be a close game. I think it could be a 1-1 or maybe a 2-1 to Liverpool. But on the other hand, from what I'm seeing in pre-season and the way that Liverpool are playing, they're electric going forward, so there could be goals in it from that aspect. But we're also not the greatest defensively as well. So, look, I'm going to put my neck out on the line. I think it will be a close game, but I think it will be a high-scoring close game. I think it's going to be 3-2 to Liverpool. Like I say, I think there'll be lots of goals. Liverpool are electric going forward from what I've seen so far. I think the more these guys play together as well, because we have made a lot of changes. We've made a lot of changes in this window. We've brought a lot of players in. We've let a lot of players go. So it's going to take time for these guys to get used to playing with each other. But the more they seem to be playing with each other, the more electric they are going forward. So I think this will potentially be Liverpool's strongest performance of the pre-season, and I think we'll get a few goals as well. So like I say, 3-2 to Liverpool. And who do I think is going to score? I think Salah's going to get on the score sheet, and I would like to see Florian Wirtz get on the score sheet as well. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think we're going to win, we're going to lift the trophy. Let me know if you care about this trophy. Like I say, I like this one. I like the idea of lifting a trophy before the Premier League season starts. I think it just builds confidence. It gives those new guys... It makes them more comfortable within the club. And the reason I say that is if you can walk into a club and lift a trophy in your first competitive game, I think it does a world of wonders for your confidence going forward and the confidence of the team and the manager as well. So yeah, I'm going to go for a Liverpool win, but let me know what you guys think. I'll see you on the next one.